Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing American Fiction. So this film is directed by Cord Jefferson. It's actually his directorial debut, and I have to say, for a first film, he really knocks it out of the park. The story basically tells a tale of a writer named Monk, who's played by Jeffrey Wright, and he is someone who is very staunchly in this idea of academia and making a difference and getting a voice for what really means things, instead of being exploited for what the system wants him to be. As an African-American man, he feels pressured to kind of create this idea of African-American trauma and trying to create these things that are all in the market. He doesn't want to be that. He wants to have his own individual voice. He doesn't want to be forced to be pigeonholed into one kind of experience. And as kind of a middle finger to the system, he ends up writing a book that he would consider to be basically trash. It's a totally made-up story that's taking all the stereotypes, all the basic ideas of what maybe society thinks is the plight of the African-American, and he's putting it out there, and it ends up going wildly successful, and then he's stuck with playing this kind of double life of playing someone who he truly is and playing somebody for the world. And it tells a real important story about race and our idea of what the social construct of race is and kind of who these stories are for. I do think it takes these themes and it puts them in a very understandable and real level. And interwoven into this kind of ridiculous story about mistaken identity, it dives into a really somber story about relationships within his own family and what the idea of who you need to be for your own family. And there's some really good scenes between him and Sterling K. Brown, who plays his brother Cliff, where you really get to dive into what it kind of means to be in this kind of family dynamic. One of the more interesting things about this movie is actually kind of the third act of it. While I won't go into a lot of spoilers, it has kind of a big turn towards the third act, which I thought was a really bold move to take, and I think it works really well. It helps really stick the landing of the film, because when it gets to kind of its natural ending, it kind of has almost a needle drop moment. And for some people, that might lose people. They may not enjoy that, but I personally like that creative risk they took, and I think it does pay off and kind of telling those same stories, because it drives the story to its like logical conclusion, and then it kind of pushes it just a little bit further. So all in all, if I were to rate American Fiction, I would give it an 8 out of 10. One of the better films this year. And like I said, it handles the idea of society's constructs of race and what that means and who an audience is for kind of racial stories. And it kind of, like I said, flips it on its head and presents it in a very interesting way while having some pretty solid comedic elements. So if you checked out American Fiction, let me know what you thought about it. I always love to hear people's opinions. Did you like it more than me? Did you like it less? Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.